Andy, thanks very much for joining me. We're speaking on the 2nd of November, the day before the KBB Awards launch.
Yeah.
What can we expect?
Well, first of all, Tom, thank you for taking time out of your other job as an air traffic controller to talk to me about the awards today. I feel like you should be talking me down like I'm a passenger who's found themselves having to land a plane. So thank you very much.
Believe me, I've got earbuds on my
Yeah,
Christmas list.
I certainly hope so. Well, look, yeah, we're launching the awards this week, the KBB Review Retail and Design Awards 2021, to give them their very long title. And, it's going to be like everything this year. It's going to be a completely unprecedented thing. It's a year like no other, and therefore anything that examines what's happened in that year is going to be unprecedented as well, isn't it? So, the important thing about the awards is it's 27 years old, but we do reflect the times. And so this year we are not shying away from the fact that the whole world's turned upside down, and actually we want to hear the stories of how the world has turned upside down and how people have dealt with it. So that's the main thing that will be done differently this year, is we are doing it in the times we're doing it.
Yeah, you alluded to the fact that it's been a weird old time in 2020. How do you expect the events that have taken place this year to change the sorts of entries that you're going to get in?
Well, you know what? What a test it's been for people who run a business. Whether that's supply or retail, it has been the ultimate test, hasn't it? You've literally been told to close your doors. You don't know where business is coming from. Then you've had this sudden huge high demand that's come through, and you've got to try and cope with that while still keeping everybody safe, keeping people on furlough, and all those things. So we have two different sets of categories. Obviously, we have retail categories, the business categories, and we have the design ones. The business ones look at retailer of the year, the showroom of the year. We have categories for new retailers who have just started. And as I'm saying these titles, every single one of these, you're thinking, oh my God, how that's been completely turned upside down. But part of the point of this is that we've always been an award that isn't for those who make the most money. It's not for those with the biggest showrooms, with the biggest turnovers. It's all about what you do in the market that you face and the resources that you have available to you. And this year, what a test it's been, what stories people must have to tell about how they had to pivot their business overnight, how they had to finish the jobs that were already started, how they had to beg and steal and borrow product to try and get things done, how they've had to cope with shortages of installers, how they've had to suddenly adopt technology and Zoom meetings to try and deal with clients. I mean, this has all been an upheaval, but what a story it is to tell when you're winning awards. No one's going to win an award this year for how much money they've made, right? But what you're going to win an award for this year is how you've steered your business through this whole thing.
I mean, talking about unprecedented times, normally your award ceremony is packed full of razzmatazz and it's a really big occasion.
Yeah.
What's it going to look like this year?
Well, you know what? We've had lots of sort of what if discussions this year, as you can imagine. We were very lucky because we did the 2020 awards literally 2 weeks before lockdown began, if everyone remembers that, at the KBB show. So, we've had the biggest gap possible between one and the next, as it's been possible to have, and lots of other awards fallen by the wayside in terms of physical events, not through their own fault. But we decided, we could just say right now we're not going to run an event, right? But it just felt incredibly negative and incredibly pessimistic at a time when this industry needs positivity and optimism, right? So we thought, we're going to pick a venue, we're going to pick a date, and we're going to head towards that date and that venue, and we're going to cross our fingers that we'll be allowed to do it. So we have a venue. It is the St. George's Hall in Liverpool. We have a date. It's May the 20th. Fingers crossed we can make it happen. We hope we can make it happen. We hope for our sake, for the industry's sake, that we can make it happen. If we can't, then fair enough, and we will have a virtual ceremony and we will still crown the winners. But we really want that event to happen, and we just we know it might not, but we're going to be positive and confident and do everything in our power to make it happen. And hopefully, who knows what might happen between now and then. Certainly not me. If you've got Chris Whitty's phone number, Tom, then let's ask him. But I don't know. But it feels now to just sort of throw the towel in right now at the launch of it all in November just feels too negative, and this industry needs positivity right now.
I think we all need something to look forward to, don't we? And that certainly will be a fixture in the calendar that everyone will look to and be really hopeful for. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Well, it's about not shying away from it. We're not going to pretend that it might not happen, because it might not happen. But we are hoping that it will. Who knows what might happen in the next 8? It's 8 months away. Who knows what might happen by then? And we just feel that it's something that, if it does happen, what a party that's going to be, And it's a beautiful place if you've ever been there. The St George's Hall in Liverpool. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's this kind of really over the top Victorian, monstrosity that's just so beautiful. And obviously it's in the centre of Liverpool, which is, the greatest city in the world, as we all know. So, hopefully we can make it happen. But if not, we will give the full razzmatazz online in exactly the same way.
So running down to the ceremony, what's the judging process?
Well, I've been doing this now. The awards is 27 years, and I've done 15 of them. Right, that's how old I am. I know what you're thinking, Tom. Boyish. How is that possible? But the judging process has evolved over the years, because I've always
I was actually thinking only 27 years.
I know.
Ravaged as you are.
It's the lighting. In my hair, honestly, since the lockdown, my hair has got whiter and whiter. I don't know what it is. It's just been up here in the loft like a slug. I don't know what it is. Okay, so the judging process is really comprehensive, and I'm very proud of the judging process. You can go on the website and look at the whole thing, but I've never liked the idea of just judging winners off a piece of paper, off an entry. So in the retail categories, traditionally, you would shortlist the entries, and then the shortlist, the finalists, would get a visit from the judges. They would go along and see their showroom, spend the day with them, talk through their business with them. And that's how, you've got to get under the skin of the business to really judge its capabilities. This year, obviously, everything's slightly different. So it's most likely that we'll do that stage of it via Zoom, a bit like we're doing today or Teams. So, it will be slightly different this year, but it is all about put that face-to-face interaction between the judges and the finalists to really understand, get to ask the questions, and get under the skin of that business. In the design categories, same thing applies really. Design judges go through shortlist. They have so many questions that they want to ask. So we have an extra stage in there as well. The shortlisted design finalists all get a chance to present their design to the judges. Now, traditionally, it's been in person. This year, we'll probably do it remotely via Zoom or Teams. But it's still a chance for the judges to ask those questions and to really get under the skin, to really understand why the designer did what they did, chose what they chose. And I tell you what, every single time, the people that you think are going to win it from the shortlisting never end up winning it after the presentations, because something always comes out that the judges didn't know.
It's a really involved process then. And Andy, while we were on awards, feels churlish for me not to bring up the fact that Taylist have been awarded for been nominated for quite a prestigious PPA award. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, let me just get my trumpet out of its case here, Tom. The publishing industry, the equivalent to the BMA in the publishing industry is the PPA, the Professional Publishers Association, and they do an annual awards every year. And we have been nominated for Podcast of the Year for the KBB Review podcast. And also our art editor for Kitchens, Bedrooms and Baths magazine, Hannah, has been nominated for Art Editor of the Year. And she's done a fantastic job on that magazine. So I'm so proud of that. So fingers crossed, 18th of November, we find out about that. And then weirdly, also on the 18th of November, the awards, which is the awards for the awards industry, bear with me, like the events industry have an awards ceremony just for awards ceremonies, believe it or not. We find out if the 2019 KBB Review Awards, which we had in Manchester, has won. We're nominated for 3 categories there for that. But the irony of the year award goes to them, because that's been postponed about 3 or 4 times because they wanted to have a physical ceremony, but they've ended up having to do it virtually. So in November this year, we're going to find out if the 2019 awards won awards too. So it's going to be a big day, that one. Good
stuff. Well, fingers crossed for both your own awards coming up in May, but also for the nominations. So I'm keeping all my fingers crossed.
Thank you very much. And look, I hope we'll see you there on May the 20th. But if not, you'll see my big face on the screen presenting the whole thing as well, probably. So one way or other, you can't avoid this face.
Andy, always a pleasure to catch up, and see you again soon.
Thanks, Tom. See you later.